I don't like doing it with the other people watching.
Oh, shut up.
Nico and Charlie, who are behind the camera. That was a good take. I can't leave that on YouTube. I shan't be reading on Stag, Charlie, no, and nor should you. You two are making me so nervous. Nice little sharp bit of kit there. Don't be afraid to moisturise out in the field, ladies and gentlemen. I mean that super seriously, okay? How naked you want to be in that sleeping bag is up to you. Hello troops, welcome back to the channel. It's Dan from Hades Airsoft. Today, this video is coming from Sweden. We're at Milsim 2024. And in this video, I'm going to show you how I packed to travel to another country to play Milsim. Just a quick disclaimer, this isn't how to pack for a Milsim as you've seen on other videos, like the British Army way of packing. This is how to take everything you need to another country, live in that country, do everything you need to do, and play the game. So it's a bit of a hybrid way of packing. See, when we're traveling, we have to be careful about the weight. So everything I've got in here is just over the 20 kilo baggage allowance. I think it's 20.1. Ryanair let me get away with it. So if Ryanair are letting me get away with it, it's fine. And then I've got one piece of hand luggage. All right. So the way I've done this is splitting the weight and splitting the kit. Obviously nothing, you know, kind of dangerous or dangerous looking in this one because it's going on the plane. This is the Bergen, okay, so issued by the British Army. This is a slightly older version. I've had it tailored just so I can carry multiple bits of kit on the outside of it rather than the inside. Okay, so starting off and giving us a nice ground sheet to play with, I'm going to use the poncho. So sticking with the shelter theme, we've got the basher poles. Okay, so if we don't have any trees to secure our poncho or ground sheet from, we use these bad boys. Nico and Charlie, who are behind the camera, should have a set of these, but they don't. So we will see if these come in handy at all, and if maybe they'll regret not bringing them. We also need some tent pegs. Okay, so I actually brought a few tent pegs because depending on the configuration of your poncho, right, there's going to be a need for more or less tent pegs. A couple of bungee cords, again, sticking with that theme of building a shelter. Head torch is going to be super important, troops, okay? We need that white light for when we're administrating ourselves in a secure environment. Obviously, within Airsoft, that also doubles as like a red dead light. And I've also got fresh batteries in it and then another 3 fresh batteries taped to the back of it. This means wherever the head torch goes, we get a set of batteries. Bring a set of scales along just so you can weigh your kit and distribute between the two. And I think I've just got some other random bits up here like cam cream. Obviously we're in quite a green environment, as you can see, so we're going to have to camouflage our faces up. I've also brought like an extra counterweight pouch. I'm not sure my batteries for my GoPro are going to go in the counterweight pouch that I'm using, so I've bought an extra one along. And it's just boring things like adapters, okay? So obviously we need to charge up bits and pieces. So if it's phones, it could be cameras, it could be anything. Make sure you take a couple of chargers so you're not all your devices are queuing up to use one plug. So that's the top flap of the Bergen. Inside the compartment of the Bergen, the main compartment, is actually where I've got my fighting order. So my helmet, my plate carrier and my belt. And as I said at the top of the video, in the real world, in the British Army, you wouldn't have this kit in here. You'd be carrying that. And in here you'd have your sleeping bag, obviously climate dependent, which we're going to come on to, but you'd have all the different, you know, rations, water, other things inside this main compartment because it's quite a generous compartment. But because we're traveling, we've got to use it for kit. Okay, new belt from Stab Solutions, got to give those a plug. Go on, Nico, put a shift in. Next inside the main compartment is my plate carrier. So I've gone with a slightly different loadout for this trip out here. Obviously with the green environment, I went with the green Ranger Green base and then I've just really slimmed it down. Just 3 mags on the front, pistol mag there. We're using the Aries Alpha app while we're out here, so I need this drop down phone holder because we're going to be doing a lot of work with that. Dangle pouch is a must. I've got a little essentials pouch here again, Stab Solutions, that's Stab Solutions as well. So a little kind of slim down plate carrier for myself. That is a Gerber seatbelt cutter, all right, but I use it for cutting branches, cable ties, things like that. Nice little sharp bit of kit there, gets you out of a pinch. In the main compartment, to finish off, we've got our roll mat. Last night we had some accommodation here from the guys at Milsim. Tonight and for the rest of the week, really, isn't it? How many nights are we going to be in a tent? 5 days? So I'm going to be sleeping on this for 5 days. So it's really important that that's a good quality roll mat. No flies on me, kid. What else is in there? Oh, bivvy bag. Right. So, bivvy bag. This is a waterproof outer covering for your sleeping bag, but it will also double as a kind of emergency sleeping bag that you can take out in your day sack, and it also gives you quite a decent amount of insulation, helping with the climate. So out here, we are in Sweden, but as you can see, it's summertime. How much of that main compartment is taken up by a sleeping system is going to really depend on your climate. And I can't stress enough that, again, you need to be comfortable when you're resting. This is a 50-hour Milsim, so I've bought quite a thin jungle style sleeping bag. This on its own would not be sufficient for the climate. A few bits of kind of individual kit, a belt from Warrig, really good field belt. Some Silooms. Okay, this is a little bit of a random pouch here. My gloves, mechanics gloves, knee pads for my trousers. All right, so multicam, we're going for a 50-50 mix of multicam and DPM. So my bottom half will be multicam. And as Nico pointed out, pretty much everything, certainly clothes-wise, is in these waterproof bags. It's just good drills because it helps with compression. So when you're packing, you might have the weight to pack into your kit, but you might not have the space. Smock or a jacket, whatever you want to call it. So that's that DPM colour. All right, if it does get nippy, that will go on. This isn't overly thick either. So if it did get, I've never been to Sweden before, if it did get quite cold during the day, I could actually play in that with just a t-shirt on like this underneath and not be overly hot. If you were to play with a bigger jacket on, you'd probably not have a very good time. So this side pouch is a little bit more sort of kit and equipment. I've got my replica magazines. You two are making me so nervous. I'm normally like loosey-goosey.
You don't seem nervous.
I'm really nervous. Okay, so that'll be 3 on the front of the plate carrier, 2 on the belt, and then 1 in the riff itself. There's the rest of my clothing, so just cheap army surplus. How much for it, Charlie? A fiver?
Yeah, £5.
And this is a little bit more sleeping system in here. That sleeping bag will open up flat. This lays on top of it. You line up all of the shoelace style toggles, tie them up, and you've just augmented that sleeping bag by quite a significant amount. So Nico's just come up with quite a good point. That he's brought like quite a heavy duty sleeping bag, rightly so. And because what I've done here is I've kind of brought the same amount of, I guess, thickness, but over a different series of layers. He's gone for a bigger one, again, because of the climate, he's played it safe, whereas he's just pointed out there that Charlie's bought a Ranger blanket, and last night just kipped under that and he was fine. So it's all about your own personal tastes, ladies and gents. Me personally, I'm not shirking on the sleeping system because it's a long Milsim and I don't want to be uncomfortable.
Yeah, comfort.
Comfort is king. Little battle pillow, I've had this since Afghanistan, that goes everywhere with me, and it's now done a tour of Sweden. I don't even know what that is.
We'll find out.
We'll find out. All right. I really don't want to be uncomfortable at night. This is a liner, a sleeping bag liner. So, again, this will double up as it's basically a sheet. It's like a cotton sheet in the shape of a sleeping bag. So again, very lightweight sleeping bag if you needed it. If not, you go inside this. This goes inside the sleeping bag. You've got another layer of insulation. It's all about creating those layers so the air is trapped between layer and layer. Don't make the mistake of getting inside your sleeping bags with clothes on, because your body, which is what provides the warmth, will heat up the clothes, not the sleeping bag. You should be in your sleeping bag with as least, or as few, I should say, clothes on as possible. And I do mean that seriously. And the less clothes you have on, the warmer you will be and the quicker you will get warm. How naked you want to be in that sleeping bag is up to you. Right, this is going to come in handy. Mosquito head net, because there's quite a few mozzies around, isn't there, gents? All right, so mosquito head net. That is my lightweight waterproof jacket. That's why they've got this bit of blue tape on there. Blue, water, I know it's a waterproof jacket. Metal mug, obviously for cooking, whether it's either heating up water inside it, or we're going to be using jet boils to kind of, you know, noodles can go in there or other sort of instant food. get the hot water in there, cook up, and away you go. And in here we've got wash kit and towel, something that Nico forgot. This is a very lightweight microfiber towel. Now, microfiber towels dry incredibly quickly, but they're hard work to dry yourself with. It takes time. It's not like a cotton towel that is pretty good at drying you. These take a while to get you dry, but they will in turn dry out fairly quickly. When it comes to wash kits, less is more to a certain extent. Again, comfort is important, okay? Don't be afraid to moisturize out in the field, ladies and gents, and I mean that super seriously, okay? We've also got things like toothbrush, toothpaste, a tiny little thing of shower gel, like a travel size. Lip balm again, dry, cracked lips.
That's actually quite crucial in my opinion.
Yeah, 100%. If this was a field wash kit just for deploying out in the field, there'd be less in here. This is obviously a hybrid wash kit because we're traveling as well, so we want those little creature comforts. Wet wipes as well, they aren't pictured, they're not in the main compartment there, but wet wipes are going to be crucial. Don't make a mistake with wet wipes and get in a really big packet, because if that packet splits, they're all gone. Go for smaller, multiple packets of wet wipes, okay? Obviously for your own toiletry needs, and obviously cleaning yourself. Yeah, squatty shower. Cleaning yourself, and also nature's cool. Then we're moving on to the day sack. So again, a bit of a hybrid. I need this for travel, but I also need it for deploying on missions here on the event. So what have I got? Wet wipes. Again, traveling, it's just good practice to take some wet wipes with you. A book. I shan't be reading on Stag, Charlie, no, and nor should you. Waterproofed, notepad and pen. Again, traveling, that's just a little stand to put my phone on, obviously downloading films, movies, TV shows, whatever. Now, we've all got aches and pains, or we've all got, or a lot of us sadly have got different medical conditions that are going to require for you to have that medication in the field with you. I always suggest when I'm traveling, so we're away for about 9 days, I've got about 2 weeks worth of medication, just in case something happens and you get stuck in that country, you've got the medication, especially if it's prescription, with you. So don't forget to have all the medication you're going to need for that trip. And I've got another adapter in there for good measure. In here we've got a bunch of patches, okay, so I love a patch. In fact, Charlie, close in.
I'll take that one.
Yeah, that's for you.
Cheers, mate.
And Nico is going to get lent this one here, so come on, Nico.
I've still got your patches, have I given you back?
Yeah, no, he hasn't. No, he hasn't, troops. You heard it here first. There you go. So things like earphones, obviously earbuds. They're really useful to have on Milsim as well, actually, because if you listen to content to go to sleep with, like last night, we were staying in a accommodation there, and the event organisers were working well into the night, quite rightly. We just had to get our heads down. You get your earbuds on, and this is a game changer, just like a little sleeping mask. So even though the lights are on, my lights are out. Fleece. Now, this is a fleece, just like a North Face fleece. This is doubling up, because this is a really good, or I think is a really good bit of information, troops. Because of the weight restrictions, etc., we can't be having multiple bits of kit. So this is warm kit, okay? This is used for out in the field as well as for traveling as well. So it's all about making the kit work for you and doing as many jobs as possible. Speed loader, obviously for loading up the magazines. MB Tactical face mask, okay, with little bits of elastic here on the rear, just so I can use this without a balaclava. This was name's Nico's idea. I can see him there laughing behind the camera. Setting a trend. Of course, Block Tactical. These are my new favourite frames. I love a bit of tan, as we know, so get amongst those. Tan and black, fantastic. Obviously no fog, goes without saying, you all know the score now. However, if you don't have a pair of blocks, get amongst it. And then it's just my clothing. So these are real good bits of kit. These are pack boxes from Snug Pack. Now they're not waterproof or anything like that, but they're semi-rigid.
Sorry.
That was a good take. I can't leave that on YouTube. Style it out. Right, troops, these are semi-rigid. You're still laughing. These are semi-rigid packing boxes, okay? You can pack your clothes away in them and essentially just have organised. So it could be t-shirts, it could be shorts, underwear, etc. And the reason I've taken those in my day sack, one is obviously to do with the size and weight of the Bergen, but also and this is just a traveling tip. If you imagine getting separated from your main piece of luggage, you need everything you need to quote unquote survive traveling with you in your hand luggage. That's why I've got the medication, that's why I've got chargers, that's why I've got wet wipes, and that's why I've got my clothes. Right troops, there you have it. This is how I packed for a 50-hour Milsim, 4,000 kilometers away from home. I've traveled to 3 different countries to be here over a 9-day period. As you've seen here, a mix of squad kit, fighting kit, travel kit. Get amongst it troops, get out, find those Milsims in other countries, like, subscribe, and we'll see you next time on the channel.